Good morning, everybody. Hao. Hi. I am calling from my window seat. Can you see all the people outside? Sort of. Nobody's outside yet. Oh well, they'll walk by soon. To give you my first official live China update. Yay! I have been here exactly 3 months and like 3 days, which doesn't feel like I've been gone for so long. And luckily, I have not reached the depression part of my culture shock yet. So I'm still happy. I'm still learning Chinese. And if you can listen, sometimes you can hear my neighbor above me playing the piano every morning during the weekend. Yeah, right there. So I'm getting used to that as well. All right, so I had a few people who asked questions that I will answer since I don't have anything prepared and it's way too early to think. So I have questions about colorism in China, which has been really interesting to me and really frustrating over the last 3 months. Hi, Charlotte. So when I walk around anywhere, people take pictures of me everywhere I go, and it's annoying. And it gets to the point where you have to be really aggressive about it and have people stop, but they just laugh instead of actually doing anything. So some of my friends who've been here longer than me are really good about snatching the phone or talking to them in Chinese to keep them from taking pictures. I just tell them in Chinese that they owe me 100 kwai, and that usually gets them to stop because nobody wants to pay for pictures of me. But you want to take them of me anyway. Whatever. So here in China, everyone wants to be light-skinned. Which of course I have no possible way of being. And so a lot of women will walk around with umbrellas to protect themselves from the sun. If they're riding their scooters down the street, they're going to have all of their arms covered to their wrists, or they have these really cool, but I feel like they're really hot covers for the handles of their bikes that cover their entire body. In the summer, it looks like they're burning up, but anything to keep fair skin, I guess. So umbrellas, covering their arms to keep light-skinned, and that means that every time they see someone who is dark-skinned, they are going to literally stop and stare at you as you walk down the street. So lots of times I have people, if I'm walking down the street by myself or with other foreigners, especially other Black foreigners, they will stop, or their child will like be walking and they'll point and they're just telling their mom, look, a Black person, look, mom, look. And then the mom like turns around, or the dad turns around, and then they both just stare at you. And so it's really annoying, because if you're gonna stare, just say hi. So sometimes I speak to them and I say hi, and oh my goodness, the other day I spoke to this man who was staring at me, and he was staring so hard he didn't even realize I was talking to him. And this other lady next to him, I told him hi in Chinese, and he was still staring. And so I kept saying, ni hao, ni hao. Like, if you're going to look at me, say hi. And the girl next to him, or the older lady next to him, looked at him, and she was like, she's saying hi to you in Chinese, because my Chinese has gotten so good, y'all. I understand. So, and he still didn't realize it. So then she kind of like waved in his face. She's saying hi to you. And he was like, oh, ni hao. Like, it's too late, bruh. Like, I'm not that interesting. Seriously. So being Black is difficult. And when I'm in the train station, this other man tried to sit down in front of me and turn his camera around, that he was Skyping with his grandson, I'm assuming. And I was sitting there minding my business on the way home from Shanghai. And he sits down in front of me and turns his camera around so that the little people on the screen could see me. No, sir, you will not. So of course I went off on him in the train station, and he still didn't understand. It doesn't click because they don't see anything wrong. So I had to go off on him, and then I had to get up and walk away, because I'm like, you don't understand me fussing at you anyway. I've already told you 3 times no. So it's really frustrating lots of times. And some people who get here don't understand. Like, they think it's okay, which, it's up to you. If you feel like it's okay that people take pictures of you, randomly, that's fine. Just look cute at all times, right? But then sometimes you'll find yourself on WeChat in people's timelines with like derogatory comments underneath your picture. So that's just a warning. It's just like, look at all the monkeys in the zoo. It's not necessarily her hair is amazing, which it usually is. Okay, so Ms. Clueworth wanted to know about differences in students in the classroom. Luckily, I love it. I teach IB. Yay! Woo woo! IB all the way. So I teach IB PYP, which is the primary year program, and I absolutely love it. So instead of a Common Core curriculum or TEKS or anything like that, we are teaching on an IB curriculum, which includes 6 units of inquiry. If you've seen my blog, I've just finished the first unit of inquiry, and I'm starting the second unit of inquiry. And so we focus on a theme. So our first unit of inquiry was who we are. And anything that I want to do that I can think of that would be good for my students to talk about is what we do. So I get to choose whatever we do. A lot of it is student-led. So once I choose what I want us to do, then my students will say, I like this, and then we'll go off on a tangent. Or I like this, and we'll go somewhere else. Or if they don't like it, we'll kind of skip it and I'll rearrange. So I get to choose everything I teach, which is great. My students get to choose everything they want to learn, which is even better. And we have lots of time to just explore things. And as long as whatever unit we are doing is transdisciplinary, so I incorporate all of our core skills and our core classes in one lesson. So our last one was who we are, and we looked at who we are is affected by our heritage and our culture. So we looked at culture and family heritage and how that influences the things that we do. So we talked about, we did lots of graphing. So we incorporated bar graphs into math, and look at the cute little baby in the background. So yeah, that's IB. The classroom is a little different. Luckily, since I'm in a private school, our class size is only 20, up to 20 actually. And I only have 18 students, so it's really nice. You have lots of time to get to work with your students. My favorite thing, though, is that we have a co-teacher. So every teacher has a co-teacher, and that co-teacher is there to help you translate anything that is needed. My children speak really good English, so I don't necessarily need my co-teacher as much. Only if there is vocabulary that they don't know, or if they're very smart children, so if they're trying to think of a way to tell me what they're thinking, then we'll use the co-teacher. My co-teacher is amazing, and it was really weird for me at first because I had to come, before my co-teacher got there, I didn't know what she was going to be like or he was going to be like, and I didn't want to share my classroom with someone else because it's my classroom and I like to be in charge. So I had to come to terms with the fact that I had to have a whole nother desk in my room and a whole nother human being that's an adult and all day long. But we've clicked perfectly, and it's been great, and I absolutely love her. So now we're pretty much just, and we don't have to say anything. It just happens naturally, which is nice because not everyone has the same experiences with their co-teacher. Do they celebrate the same holidays, and what are they called? Okay, let me write down Layla's question. So we have meals together. I eat with my students, which is very interesting. Zaporia asked about mealtime. So at school, mealtime is interesting because we have different choices, unlike school at home. But the thing is, there are very different manners of eating here. And you see that when you go out, and you definitely see it at school. So that has been something that some of it has been easy to get used to, like chopsticks. I'm okay with eating with chopsticks. But some of them has been really difficult. The mouth to plate thing, I'm still getting used to. It has been really difficult. because the Slurpee, I can't handle the slurping sounds. I don't mind if you like slurp your noodles, but like physically putting your mouth on your plate and like that, I can't handle it. Just it bothers me. You don't need the little rice kernels that much. Just go get a new plate. So that has been really difficult for me. People using chopsticks is fine. The water is always served hot, always boiling hot, hot, like just hot. Water everywhere you go is going to be served hot. I like to drink my water room temperature, so it hasn't been that bad, but hot, which is good because I don't have to have a kettle, because if I have a tea bag, I just put it in the water. But if I just want a nice cold glass of water, it doesn't exist. My favorite food, Avery asked about my favorite food. My favorite food is still dumplings. It has not changed. I love dumplings. I can have them every single day and be perfectly happy. I'm also really partial to thick noodles. There's a place near my house that I haven't learned how to order from, and it's probably a good thing, online. But I go there all the time, and they have dumplings and noodles. Oh, food here is very cheap, very, very cheap. You can buy a gigantic bowl of noodles, huge bowl of noodles. Depending on the quality that you want it, it can range between 5 kwai, which is like, I don't know, 75 cents maybe, I don't know, and 8 kwai, which is like $1. So you can eat your whole dinner out somewhere for $1. If you want noodles and vegetables, that will be like $3. And then I always split it for 2 meals. So food is very cheap, and it's really great because it saves on cost of living. And it's always delicious. So I haven't cooked once, only bacon, but the bacon's not the same here. So I really miss American bacon. I also miss pickles and popcorn. When you go to the movie theater, which I have not done yet, I've scoped it out. When you go to the theater or anywhere with popcorn, the popcorn is a candied corn. So it looks exactly like theater popcorn. But once you put it in your mouth, you're slowly disappointed that it's not buttery. It's caramel. It's not caramel, but it's candied popcorn like they sell at school for school fundraisers. So I miss good buttery popcorn. All right, so let's see. The bullet train. Andy wants to know about the bullet train. So I live 2 hours or hours from Shanghai, depending on which direction of Shanghai you want to go to, which part. But if you ride the bullet train, it takes 18 minutes or 19 minutes, depending on which train, from station to station. So it's really great. So I could wake up, you can buy your tickets in advance on your phone, and I wake up and it takes me 20 minutes to ride the Didi, which is Chinese Uber, to ride a Didi to the train station. And then I haven't worked it out yet for not waiting super long. So sometimes I wait 30 minutes for my train, because you still have to pick up the ticket at the station. The lines are really, really long, which is another thing that does not exist here. Lines. People push each other everywhere, so you have to be aggressive. So from start to finish, it usually takes me an hour to get to Shanghai. But the bullet train costs me 23 kwai, which is 17, 21, like $3.50 American. And my Didi ride will cost me like 20 kwai, which is $2 American. So I get to Shanghai for like $7 American, which is great. And then you can just spend the day in Shanghai and then come back on the train or the bus, which is really long, but I think it costs 50 kwai. So yes, I have ridden the bullet train multiple times. It is so much fun. By the time you sit down, it's time to get up. So you can't really enjoy it unless you're going farther. Lots of people will commute from Shanghai here for work, or the opposite, vice versa. So it's really, really convenient. Also, it's really nice because you have the pleasure of living here in my city, which is a smaller suburban, very affluent community. And then you can sort of do weekend trips or day trips to Shanghai. And there's also a Disneyland in Shanghai that I have not ventured to see yet, so I'm excited. Communicating here has been pretty easy, sort of, I guess. I have picked up Chinese pretty quickly, but if you all know me, you know I have to be able to talk to people. And I like to be able to talk to people in their own language. So I have practiced and practiced and practiced every time I go out Chinese, and I don't use my translator app where you like talk in and then they hear it and then they talk in. I don't use that because that's crippling and you don't learn anything. So I have forced myself to practice. If I know I want to go somewhere this weekend, I will sit and I will practice phrases that I know I need. And now it just becomes really easy to remember because it's a necessity. If y'all saw the post about the bakery, I have lots of good friends here that I've met that help me practice my Chinese. So the people at the bakery help me practice. I still cannot say coconut milk tea to save my life. I don't know what it is about the word coconut, but I can't say it. So I learned I learned the food that I like and the things that I don't like. So if I go to a restaurant, I know how to order food. 我要一碗面条和一碗饺子, which is I want one bowl of noodles and one bowl of dumplings. Necessities, y'all. Dumplings and noodles. I also can, do my money. When I got here, I only had cash, so that really helped me count. So now when I go to the restaurants or the shops on the street that I always order from, they know me, and so they will cover up the numbers or they will say it to me in Chinese and then make me figure it out, which is very helpful. So it's really helpful if you have somebody here who will be patient enough to let you practice with them, because some people aren't patient. And if you start speaking in Chinese, they're just automatically going to say, Timbudong, Timbudong, which is I don't understand you. But you do understand me. You just don't want to make the effort. So you just have to find the right people. So I can order food. I can count my money, which is important. And I can shop, y'all. Today's Chinese phrase is the most important phrase in China, besides Timbudong, which is I don't understand. The most important phrase is Tai Gui Le. Tai Gui Le. You should be repeating after me, okay? Tai Gui Le. That means that's too expensive. It's the best ever. Whenever you go somewhere to shop, it doesn't matter. Like, I keep my mouth shut the whole time I'm shopping. Because as soon as you speak in Chinese and as soon as you say Tai Gui Le, that price drops and you don't have to pay as much of a tourist tax as everyone else, which is super nice. So Tai Gui Le is important. And then you just have to figure out what they're saying afterwards. But I've met lots of nice people who are vendors at the market. So they like to take me around and help me bargain for prices. So it's really useful because then I have someone who's Chinese helping me bargain for Chinese prices. So I don't have to pay tourist prices. And they'll whisper to me, that's too expensive. Tai Gui Le, like make them bring the price down. And then I'll be able to help bring the price down. So it's useful. Most everything here you can bargain for. I like to bargain. It's fun. I like to walk away from people because then they run after you. No, okay. But some other things you just pay if it has a price tag on it. Although some stuff with a price tag you can still bargain for. Fruit is something that you find everywhere. There's a cute little old man that sells eggs every morning outside of my apartment. And then the fruit vendor sometimes comes down with the cart. The only thing that I love my city, it's safe and walkable. I mean, it's amazing. The only thing that I miss is that there are not as many food carts on street vendors, because this is more of like a a well-built suburban. Like it's becoming more Western over here. Like literally 5 minutes at the end of the corner, there is a bowling alley, y'all, a real bowling alley, an IMAX theater. All of the movies are in Chinese, but it doesn't matter. And it's a sports complex. So there aren't many vendors on the street, which I love. I love street food, so I really don't get that here. Unless you go to sort of the other part of Kunshan, but then you don't really know if it's quality food and what you're eating. So sometimes I have a friend who's Asian, or one of my friends is from Shanghai, so she'll say, "Go eat there, don't eat there." Like I don't even eat there. That don't do it. So they'll be able to point out good street food to eat. I've not gotten sick yet. I don't know whether that's because I have years of eating food around the world that may have been questionable, but I have not gotten sick yet. So yay, cross my fingers, hope it doesn't happen. All right, so Layla wants to know about holidays. Halloween is my favorite holiday. It's not celebrated in China, so that was sad. Luckily, I teach at an international school, so we celebrate Halloween. We did a whole bunch of stuff for Halloween, the build up to Halloween and Halloween Day, but it's not celebrated in China. There were, surprisingly, a couple of shops around that had like little pumpkin lanterns. They were so cute. They had pumpkin lanterns hanging up outside of their shops, but that's about the extent. I did see in the big sort of store a Halloween section, which was so interesting to me. But most of it was Halloween costumes, I'm assuming, for schools, since they were all like little kids' costumes, and like headbands and stuff like that. No, not much candy. But you can already find like Dove chocolate, Snickers, all of that here. Who is that? Is that Mars? I don't know. Whomever is responsible for milk or Snickers, you can find all of those products. M&M's. Yeah, M&M Mars. Great job, Brie. So you can find all of those products here. No Hershey's or any of that. I had to order my candy corn. I ordered candy corn, and it took 3 weeks to get here, and it was worth it, and it was expensive. Worth it, and it was worth it to see the look on all of the other American teachers' faces when I was like, "Happy Halloween, Americans, would you like candy corn?" And they had a fit, because it's just nice to have things that are from home sometimes. So Halloween is not a thing. Christmas is not a thing. So the best time to travel is Christmas. I will be coming home for Christmas though this year. So, but next year, y'all, I'm gonna be traveling. You aren't gonna mess up my cheap travel time. So Christmas is the cheapest time to travel because everyone is still working and no one has off, so the prices aren't increased. Golden Week is the expensive time to travel, which was the first week in October. Yeah. And so you don't need to travel around China during that time because there are so many people traveling. The plane tickets are like triple the price, and the plane tickets are triple the price, and the train stations are ridiculous, and they're always booked early. I wanted to go to South Korea to see Miss Balderson, but I couldn't because the train ticket to South Korea, which is a 2-hour flight, was the same price as my one-way ticket from America here, and I just couldn't do that. So Golden Week is the worst week to travel. They don't have Thanksgiving, so I don't have my next break until Christmas. So no Thanksgiving. They have Chinese New Year, which is great. It's in February, and you have 2 weeks off of school. And that's also a busy time to travel, but not as busy as Golden Week. So they have Chinese New Year. And birthdays are really interesting because they are based on zodiac. And so sometimes sometimes a student's birthday may be like, for example, today is November the 4th, will be November the 4th this year. And then next year, it'll be like November the 10th. How does your birthday change? I have no idea. I haven't figured out birthdays yet, but it's really difficult with my students especially at the beginning of the year when I would say, "What's your birthday?" And then they would say, "I don't know." So birthdays are very interesting, but you still get cake on your birthday. We still sing happy birthday in English and in Chinese. Parties, definitely. And I learned during our culture unit of inquiry when we were talking about celebrations, and my children said that it is a tradition to eat noodles on your birthday because noodles represent long life. And so you must eat a bowl of noodles on your birthday. So that's that. I learned something new. Who is it? JJ wanted to know if I'd been to the Great Wall of China yet. Yes, I have been to the Great Wall of China, but not on this trip. I went way before I moved to China. But I think we'll be going back this summer. I am hoping to run the Great Wall of China Marathon next year. So once I figure out how to register for that, because everything's in Chinese, then I'll be able to do it. So yeah, Great Wall of China is amazing. But they also asked my favorite places. I haven't been able to travel much around China yet with the busyness of the beginning of the school year and the fact that it was way too expensive over Golden Week. But I did go to the hot springs in Suzhou, which is a great getaway. And I plan on going to Harbin, which is the ice city, which is beautiful. The best time to go is Christmas, though, so I may have to put it off. And then Avatar Mountain, where they shot the Avatar film, is not too far away by train, and not too far away, I mean like 8 hours by train. So I may go to Avatar Forest during Chinese New Year, which is beautiful. So to see where they filmed Avatar. I think I answered everyone's questions. I think I did. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I can answer them before I finish. Ms. Kluwer, sorry, you missed your question. You have to rewind. That is also far. I love China. It has been such an easy transition. Sometimes it's difficult being alone because you have no one to enjoy the experiences with. Even when you make friends at work or around, it's not the same as people from home. And also, it's really weird because I'm so used to living with other people. But the city itself is it's a very good transition city. Everything is easy to get to once you figure out how to work the train and the bus, which is not difficult. And the bus costs 1 kwai, which 7 kwai equals $1. So the bus is really cheap. And where I live, there's a hub. So there is a sandwich shop. There is Gongcha, which is bubble tea. Y'all, bubble tea is a whole nother conversation. Bubble tea is amazing. And it's cheaper here than it is at home. It definitely tastes better. And there is an all-you-can-eat hot pot that's like 17 American dollars. All you can eat and drink hot pot. And there is a massage place. There are lots of kid places. The hub is like a really great place to hang out. And then there is another central location that has like a Starbucks and other things, and another movie theater. And that's a great place to hang out. Do not cross the street without looking both ways 50 times because you will get hit by a car. Do not assume that the car is going to stop just because it sees a pedestrian because you will get hit. Do not assume that just because the car's light is red that it won't keep going because you will get hit. Don't assume that if you've already walked halfway across the street and the car is right in front of you and it's easy, it won't hit you because it will. It will slowly hit you. Don't mess with cars in China. They will hit you. Same thing with e-bikes. E-bikes are everywhere just because it's easier. With about 3 people on an e-bike to 4 people at a time, they will also hit you. Maria, how's the weather? Okay, so I just turned my heat on for the first time. I am not prepared for Chinese winter. I live in Texas, and I have ordered so stuff on Taobao. And y'all have seen the pictures. Most of it's winter clothes because it's fall right now, and the temperature is what? What's the temperature? Like, it's Celsius here. I don't speak Celsius. I think it's like 50 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that means. I just know it's cold, and I just know it's going to get colder. So I am already buying like all of my leggings and things like that. It's freezing in the house, which is like a thing that's normal here. So you have to buy a space heater to help with the heat, or you'll pay an exorbitant amount of money on your heat. Utilities aren't expensive though, but in the winter they can get to like normal American prices, which I don't want to pay. So layering blankets, layering clothes already. It's windy, and so winter, my attitude's going to be stank the whole time because I already am freezing every day. The sun goes down at 5. Yeah, 5. The sun goes down at 5, so it's really difficult for me because when I get home, by the time I get home, because I get out of work at 5, so by the time I get home, the sun's already down, so I'm ready to go to sleep. So that's been a difficult transition. Also, in China, people wake up early, like wake up early. And in Chinese, there are like 2 different phrases for morning, because there's early morning and there's late morning, because they're up so early. So, like, I'm awake. I woke up at 8 this morning, and people have already finished with half of their day already. So you'll hear lots of people in the morning. I can hear lots of people outside of my window because, as you can see, I'm on the first floor. So I can hear lots of people. And so things get moving early. But if you walk outside at 9 o'clock at night, there's nobody on the street. It's like an apocalypse. It's scary apocalyptic, but it's super safe here. So you don't have to worry about like anybody mugging you or anything, but it's just silent on the street, dead silent. All of the lights are out. People are asleep. So I have to get used to the weather, because as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature really drops. The summer, though, is as hot as it is at home in Texas, so that's the same. The other thing is that in the winter, the pollution levels are horrible. So now we've already reached days where you have to wear a mask for pollution. I have been really sick the last couple of weeks because of it, because it really messes with my allergies. So I've been without a voice, and I have like sinus headaches and everything because of the things floating around. Some mornings you wake up and you can see it outside the window. It's already black and looks like fog. And this is actually really light considering how bad the pollution levels can get. So it's going to be an interesting winter. Pollution right now is about 130. And I look at home to see what it is. And at home in Texas, in Fort Worth, the pollution level is 44. And then here it's about 88 to 130 some days. But in the winter, it can get up to like 400. So that's going to be interesting. So I have to also buy air purifier for my house, another one, to help out and to make sure we wear masks. And lots of people end up, when they come here, having asthma. So it's something that you have to watch out for. But the weather is nice. Sometimes right now you can still sort of feel good summer weather, but shorts weather is over. And what's the temperature in Texas? Like summer? Because I miss normal fall, which is not normal here. This fall is like our winter already. Television does not exist for me, so I have to do everything on the internet, which was very difficult when I was without internet for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long I was without internet. Also, there are no bookstores. There are no bookstores, so I have been so sad. You have to order things online, so I couldn't even read a good book to help with that. Let me know, you all, let me know if you have any questions for our next update, and I will be able to have all of those ready for all of you, and maybe we can do it again, I don't know, in a couple of weeks. When I see how many questions you all have, Yay! So your phrase, your Chinese phrase for the day, do you remember it? Tai Guela. Tai Guela. Too expensive. Also, you can go away with good morning. Good morning in Chinese is Zhao Shang Hao. Zhao Shang Hao. Or you could just say Zhao, which means morning. That's about all I can say to the custodians at my school because they're all Chinese. So I just say Zhao Shang Hao, and they say Zhao Shang Hao, and then that's all. So have a great night in Texas. My washing machine's about to go off, so it sings. My washing machine sings when it's over. It sings jingle bells, jingle all the way, which makes no sense because they don't celebrate Christmas. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.